Okay. Now today we are going to discuss the fifth poem, that is television. And basically you have to remember that this poem, television, the word itself makes you aware of the fact that it is being called as an idiot box. Okay? So, one of the themes on which the poem is based is TV or television is an idiot box. Another theme is death of imagination. And the next one is importance of reading books. So these are the three themes on which the poem is being based. Now basically this poem is meant for small children. It's written taking into consideration small children, that what is the negative impact of watching television on the children, that is being discussed here in the poem. Okay, so you have to keep in mind to understand the contents of the poem, that the poem deals with the themes TV and idiot box, death of imagination, and importance of reading books. Okay. Then, as far as the poem is concerned, it is a didactic poem. It is a didactic poem, which means what? The negative impact of TV on children is being discussed in the poem. So you find over here that this TV, which is being considered to be a monster. Okay, so you can use the words like monstrous for this word TV. It can be called as monstrous, idiotic. Okay, now when we are discussing the critical insight, we will be discussing it in detail. So you just first and foremost thing that you should remember is the themes on which the poem is based, and secondly that it is a didactic poem, which means that emphasis is laid on the negative impact of watching TV, particularly on children, particularly on small children. Okay, that is to be kept in mind to understand the poem. Now let's take up the poetry. The most important thing we have learned so far as children are concerned is never let them near your television set. The first 4 lines of the poem itself is told that as the children are concerned, or the poem is based on the concern of the children who are very much eager to keep themselves watching on the screens of the television. They are, so it's told over here is never let them near your television set. Now why you should not allow them to get close to the television set? Because you are termed this as monstrous and idiotic. Is that clear? Further, and then you are having the repetition of words over here, never. The words never is being repeated here to lay emphasis on the fact that children should never be allowed to watch TV particularly for a longer duration of time. Watching TV at your age or the elder people, it's okay, because they know, you know that how much time you have to watch the TV, maybe for half an hour, maybe for 1 hour. You are aware of that fact, but children are not aware of that fact. Once they sit in front of the TV means they will sit for hours, and they'll sit for hours to watch the programs on the TV of their choice, and what will be the impact of it? Their eyesight, the vision will be affected. Their imagination skills will be lost. The mind will get rusted. Okay, so these are the negative impacts of watching TV, particularly on children who are not aware of the fact that how long they have to watch the TV. So here this is being emphasized. Then it is being told here, in almost every house we have watched them gaping on the screen. Gaping means having a very close look at the screen. They loll and slop and lounge about and stare until their eyes pop out. Continuously they keep on watching, and what is the impact of it? Their eyes pop out. That means their eyes eyes get affected. It appears as if the eyes are swollen and it will come out. Okay, then last week in someone's place we saw a dozen eyeballs on the floor. Now is this the reality? I don't think a dozen eyeballs lying on the floor is not the reality. It's just a exaggerated way of emphasizing a particular fact that the eyes of the children are being affected by continuous watching of the programs on the TV. Okay, so here the figure of speech that is being referred is hyperbole, or you can also call it as hyperbole. Okay, then so when something is being exaggerated, stressed, when something is being exaggerated, then you have hyperbole. Okay, then they sit and stare and sit until they are hypnotized by it. Now here they sit continuously and stare as if they are being hypnotized. When a person is being hypnotized, does a particular task continuously for hours. So their activity appears to be as if the child is being hypnotized to sit and stare at the screen of the TV. So staring is the word used here. Therefore you have the figure of speech that is repetition. Until they are absolutely drunk with all that shocking, ghastly junk. Oh yes, we know it keeps them still. They do not climb out the windowsill. They never fight or kick or punch. They leave you free to cook the lunch. Now for mothers particularly, TV is a boon. In what way? For mothers particularly, TV is a boon, because in what manner? The children, what they do? Mothers, they ask their children to sit in front of the TV, and in the meantime what they will do? They will complete their household work. So children will be so busy that they will not fight with their younger brothers or sisters. Other siblings, they will not fight. So they will not climb out the windowsill. They will never fight or kick or punch. So there will be no fight between or among the siblings of the. Okay, and then they will allow, or this will allow, mother to do her household chores, preparing the lunch, washing the dishes. These are all household chores which a mother has to complete. But if the child is not engaged in watching TV, then they will be creating disturbance and she will not be able to do the work. So that is why, in a way, it is a boon particularly for the mothers, not for the children. Okay, then to wonder just exactly what this does to our beloved doll. Now you can find here there is a change in the change in the this thing font of the you can see this variation is there in the font. All the words are written in capital letters in these lines. Yes or no? So it rots the sense in the head. It kills imagination dead. Now kills imagination dead is a personification over here. So you have to keep in mind that the imagination or thinking power of a child is being badly affected by continuous watching of the television. It clogs and clutters up the mind. It makes a child so dull and blind. He can no longer understand a fantasy of fairyland. So it's being told over here, all these lines which have a variation in font, they are emphasizing on the negative impact of TV on children. So what is being told over here? Child becomes dull. His mind is clogged. He is not able to think. Then he can no longer understand. Lacks the understanding power also. A fantasy cannot make the difference between fantasy and fairyland. Okay. Then his brain becomes as soft as cheese. His powers of thinking rust and freeze. Here in this line, his brain becomes as soft as cheese. This figure of speech that is present here is simile. Comparison is made between softness of brain with that of softness of cheese. And his power of thinking is affected. It gets rusted and it freezes. Or in a way you can say that a child lacks innovation, creativity. Okay? Then he cannot think, he only sees. So he is unable to think, and only thing that he can do is he is able to see what is being displayed or what is being telecasted on the television. Then all night you will cry, all right you will say, but if we take the set away, what shall we do to entertain our darling children? The most important question which is being asked here, that in case if we take away the children, then what shall we do to entertain our darling children? Please explain. We'll answer this by asking you what use the darling wants to do. So what they can do, if they are not provided the television sets to watch, then what else they can do? That is the question, most important question which is being asked here. How used they keep themselves contented before this monster was invented? So before the invention of this monster, how these children were kept satisfied, contented? Children, they were playing. Is it not the truth? They were indulging themselves in outdoor games and indoor games. But now, because of TV, which is a monster, what has happened? They have kept aside the outdoor and the indoor games. So here it is being told that how used they keep themselves contented before this monster was invented. Have you forgotten? Don't you know? We will say it very loud and slow. So the question is being asked that have you forgotten how they were spending their time or how they were utilizing their time before the invention of this monster? Okay, then they used to read. They would read and read. Now this particular portion from here you find that emphasis is laid on the third theme. The third theme. Okay, so what have we discussed as the themes? First we have discussed as the idiotic box. Secondly, we have discussed as what? Death of imagination. Okay. And now we are going to discuss what? Importance of Okay, so in the beginning of the poem, we discussed that it is a monstrous idiotic box. Then after that, we have discussed that how it has affected the brain of a child, because of which they have lost the power of imagining, or creativity is being lost. And now we are going to discuss the importance of reading books. So what is being told here? They used to read. They would read and read and read and then proceed to read some more great Scott. These are the stories which they used to read. Great Scott, Gadzooks. One half their lives was reading books. The nursery shelves held books galore. Books cluttered up the nursery floor, and in the bedroom by the bed, more books were waiting to be read. So, such wondrous, fine, fantastic tales of dragons, gypsies, queens and whales, and treasure isles and distant shores, where smugglers rode with muffled oars. So they used to read the storybooks. They used to read the storybooks. In your childhood, if you were not interested in watching TV, you must have also spent your time in reading comics and storybooks. Okay, so here it is being told that the children, in the absence of the monster or the TV, which is an idiotic box, they used to spend time in reading various books. They were here books. Shelves were filled with books. Beside on the bed, books were scattered. On the shelf, books were kept, and that was reading. Reading the books, different kinds of books. What was it doing? It was making a child, or it was enabling the child to think. It was enabling the child to think. But now what is the impact of watching TV? They are unable to think. Okay, so it's being told over here, where smugglers rode with muffled oars, and pirates are nothing but the sea thieves, wearing purple pants and sailing ships and elephants, and cannibals crouching round the pot, stirring away at something hot. It smells so good, what can it be? So gracious, it's Penelope. So it's being told over here, that in these lines, that the pirates or the sea thieves, they were wearing purple pants and sailing ships and elephants, and cannibals are the feeders of flesh. Okay, so they were crouching round the pot where the meal was being prepared. So they were crouching round that, stirring away at something hot. Something hot was being prepared in the pot. So they were stirring away. It smells so good. These are all the words used in order to describe the meal that was being prepared. What can it be? Good gracious, it's Penelope. Okay. The younger ones had Beatrix Potter with Mr. Todd, the dirty rotter, and Squirrel Nutkin, Pigling Bland, and Mrs. Twiggy, Winkle, and just how the camel got his hump, and how the monkey lost his rump. And Mr. Toad, and bless my soul, there's Rat and Mr. Mole. So we'll discuss these lines.